afternoon, Loud and Proud fam. Welcome back to another video here on Loud and Proud. I'm so glad to have you guys here watching this video. If you guys have not yet, please subscribe, leave a like on the video, that helps out a ton. Now let's get into this. Today we're going to be working on the new Cummins, and it's a 1996 12 valve, 149,000 miles on it. When you're looking at it first, I understand you're going to say, dude, that is rough. Paint's rough, it's got some rocker rust, bed shot, but other than that, if you take a look at the frame of this thing, it's still got factory paint on it. There's a couple spots where it's chipping away, and there's like a little bit of surface rust just barely starting, but other than that, the thing is super clean. But what we're going to be doing on this one is we're going to be today hopefully bumping up the idle time just a little bit. I did that on my truck yesterday and it helped the starting of the truck go way faster. Now it starts up like the first gen, which is how they're supposed to start up typically. We're also going to be, not sure what all we're going to get to, but for sure bumping up the idle, maybe getting rid of the running boards, maybe getting rid of some of these hitches. Not sure if I'm going to take the front one off because it could come in handy for something. Not sure what, but something I'm sure. But there are other hitches for the bed camper that you could basically back up to, and then you have to put the hitches in on each side for whatever reason, but I'm going to try to get to taking those off. I have a feeling that they are just bolted on, so I'm hoping that I can get them just off, but I need to start by spraying some PB Blast on it and stuff like that. So I'm probably gonna spray all the bolts down for the hitches around the thing. I'm just gonna call them hitches, they look like hitches. So anyways, I'm just gonna get to spraying some PB Blast on all that stuff and then get to working on the idle. And then when I'm done with that, go and then start to work on that so that PB Blast can kind of do it. We just ran out of PB Blast. And I got the last bolt. Well, now we're gonna get to bumping up the idle on this. I might actually need to add a little bit of diesel. It's getting really low on diesel, this thing. He said there's like 6 keys for the thing. I'm not sure how it's gonna start up right now. Starts pretty rough, so we'll see if that's the case still or what. Man, guys, he was not kidding. That thing starts rough. It starts rough and it didn't want to idle. All the black smoke. What the heck? Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this thing pulled outside so that when we do the startups and stuff, it's not in the barn. So let's see here if I can do it again. Okay, let's see if we can do it this time. Is it gonna stay that time? Is it gonna stay? Is it gonna stay? The idle's so low on this. Like it's below, it's lower than my truck was. Like there's that line right there below, there's 1,000, then there's that next hair, and then it's under that. Like this thing is like barely 500 RPM. That's terrible. Well, I'm gonna get this pulled out. See, that's really bad. Like I put it into drive and it dropped from 500 to like 200 RPM. That's really bad. See, like it's barely running right now. This idle is so low, guys. Like this is terrible how bad this idle is. This thing idles worse than mine does, and that's probably the culprit for not wanting to start up like that. You know how I was telling you my truck, when I go to start it, it would usually want to crank over, like you'd hear it, and then it would start up. Sorry for my sound effects, I'm just trying to paint a picture. And then it would start. This one's worse. It takes a lot longer to turn over, but it also has a lot lower idle. So I think the problem is the idle timing is too low. I don't know if that's for sure. We're not gonna know until we try it. What we're gonna try to do is up the idle and get this one closer to 1,000, kind of like my truck. So hopefully it'll start right up. I think it's just not getting enough fuel. Once I got it throttled up and if I held it up, it ran just fine. It idled just fine. But if I let off the throttle a little bit and I let it idle down to where it wants to, it idles down less than 500 and then it runs really rough. I also yesterday when testing my truck for the idle, I accidentally lowered the idle more than it was already, and the thing started like this. I didn't have that on video because if I had all my trial and error on video, the videos would be super long. But basically I didn't have that on video, but when I lowered my idle too much and it was lower than 500, like this one was set up when I started up over there, did that, like it wouldn't turn over, and I thought, oh no, I ruined my truck. And then I just went out there and, you know, 45 seconds later I adjusted the idle back up to close to 1,000 and then fired off like the first gen and didn't struggle at all. So we're gonna get to that here, and like, see, when you put it in drive, it idles at like 200. So let's get the idle bumped up here and get this thing running better again. Another thing we're gonna try to do here very soon is get all these battery terminals all cleaned up. It looks like he's got them greased, but it looks like there's a lot of gunk on them too, just from sitting. But let me try to show you, if you can hear me over my gosh dang dogs, if I can show you what this idle thing is. It's really hard to explain and really hard to see because you can't really see it, so it's kind of an issue. There's going to be lever, and then there's going to be right here, if you can see my hand, there's a nut at the bottom. You got to loosen this nut here so that there's slack on there, and then you need to lift the throttle cable a little bit, this lever here, and then you're going to adjust the nut that it rests on and raise it or lower it according to you know, where you want the throttle resting point to be for your idle. Now, if you could see that at all, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It's very self-explanatory, but I'm gonna get to that right now, and hopefully that will definitely help out this truck. Now, I rotated that bolt there about a full rotation. Let's see if that helped out at all here. Well, it started right up. I'm telling you guys, like, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. Get this buzzer clicked in here. When you bump these things up to start up at 1,000 RPM, they fire off so gosh dang good. I did not have to like work the pedal and like turn the key and turn the key and turn the key and turn, you know, to get it fire off. I just touched the key and it was running. Since this truck doesn't get ran a lot, I might leave it at that since winter is getting close, and a lot of the work that we're going to be doing on it is going to be, you know, well, not in the winter actually, it's going to be like this fall right away, but I'm going to leave it set at 1,000, and now I'm going to close the hood and I'm going to actually see how it does in gear and where the idle sits, if it still runs fine, if it's got, you know, see what kind of issues it could have, or if that helped. Here's a really quick look for those of you who have not seen my truck. This is my 1996, same as that one, 12 valve, 218,000 miles on it. And by the way, I just wanted to mention really quick, if you guys see any modifications on any of the trucks that you like, for example, the 4th gen tow mirrors, my wheels, my tires, my taillights, my 3rd brake light, my shocks, my strut towers, my 0 fuel plate, my obviously headlights, front bumper, rear bumper, all that stuff. There are links to all products, even my radio and stereo system, as well as my gauges, everything. There are links to in the description below, as well as my beautiful 8-inch exhaust. Just walking up to it, it just sounds healthy now compared to what it was. Some guys are saying we should make it a sleeper build, make it look like a grandpa truck, keep it looking like a grandpa truck, throw a lot of power under the hood. Probably we are going to flatbed the thing. I know there's a lot of people that don't agree with it because they don't like flatbeds, but that's just kind of what we would want. That's what we would use it for, as a work truck, and a flatbed would be a good working alternative for throwing massive square bales, sliding a couple on the back. There were some airbags under the rear end, variety of different things we could use that for. And make sure you look both ways about 10 times with this, so you see if anybody's looking at you, because you ain't got a plate on it. Should roll a little cold for us here. Yep. See, and I let off and it does not stall. It stays at about between 850 and 1,000 RPMs. When I hammer it like this and let off on a dime, it just goes right down to 850 to 1,000. It does not drop. Keep repeating myself, but just trying to make it known that that was the issue. Before, what it did was it would drop to like 200 and then just die. So it just was not getting enough fuel to keep it alive at the speed it was going. So that's what happened there. I'm gonna turn around here and get back to the barn. I cannot freaking tell you how pumped I am about this truck right now. Like, idling and not shutting off. Just wanted to express that with you, that how excited I am about this thing running actually completely fine. Drives fine, doesn't stall on the road. And I know it wasn't just a fluke that one time I took and it stalled, because when we test drove it, it stalled twice on us. And then, you know, when I pulled it out there, it stalled twice, like 2 days ago when we picked it up. And so we were just really concerned that, you know, there was some kind of major issue, but really all it was is the idle time was just set way too low. So that is very, very good to hear that it is running good now. It's all good. Thank you guys so much. That's exactly what it was. And good to hear from you guys, because you guys do help out tremendously like you wouldn't believe. So thank you so much. Dad just got home for a couple minutes for a quick lunch break, and I just adjusted the idle. I kind of told him it starts up pretty much like the first gen out, so we're gonna see what he thinks about it.
I should expect this process to be about, what, 30 seconds with a bunch of white smoke? Like
No, not white smoke. And he remembers how it used to start up. Too quiet for now. A lot to do. Finished up what I was going to be working on the truck today, and I think it ended up pretty good. All I did was take off the running boards and the camper hitch that came out on each side. There was one big bar that went across, but I got rid of the running boards on this side. This side is not good. Like, this side needs a new panel, needs a new rocker, it needs a new bottom half of the door panel. Other than that, it's fine. There's no, I mean, no cab corner rust or anything. But on this side, panel's totally fine. Well, I guess it is. Nah, I mean, it's fine. There's not really anything there. But anyways, the rocker is not as bad, but we're still going to replace it if we're going to do the other side of the door. Completely intact. Cab corner 100% intact. But yeah, that's kind of odd. One thing I do want to point out is the truck does have a fuel leak in the fuel lines. Actually, two. There's a fuel leak somewhere up straight up there in the fuel lines, and somewhere right up there. And let me show you why. These fuel lines are pretty rusty. So I'm guessing that it's rusted through just enough in a spot or two or three, and creating that leak. So we are definitely going to be running new fuel lines on it once we get the cap and bed off. We're already going to have access to the tank right there, and we're going to be able to run our fuel lines and not have many issues. But I wanted to really quick show you the startup difference. You guys notice how it started when I first went and started up, but I think that those fuel leaks definitely have something to do with the rough start. Get my foot on the buzzer there. Those fuel leaks do definitely have something to do with the rough start. So definitely want to get those fuel lines taken care of, and other than that, the truck should be fine then. So I'm probably going to park in the barn here, but it still definitely fires up way better with the idle bumped up, because I mean the idle was really low, and it was not good for the truck. It was running really rough. Guys, thank you so freaking much for stopping in and watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Lots more to come, but this is the first day of kind of like tearing apart the second gen, I guess you could say, the new second gen build, and lots to come. But it was a good first day getting some stuff done. I've been working on it, believe it or not. This video is only going to be like 10-15 minutes, but you know, I've been working on this truck for 5 hours, getting off all that rusted crap off of there. And you know, not a lot of it was on camera, but some of that stuff was super rusted on, you know, like that those hitches and stuff, those camper hitches, those things were really rusted on there. It was kind of tricky to get them off. But other than that, wasn't too bad, just some small tedious things is what took it so long. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet, please leave a like on this video, leave your comments below. If you have not joined the family yet, we're growing every single day, and I would love to have you guys join in on that journey. Lots of new stuff coming from my truck, which is the 96 as well. You guys got to see that. Lots of stuff for, you know, the new Ford, actually not the new Ford, but the old 7.3 there. New stuff for the KingRanch coming up here. My dad's gonna be getting new wheels and tires for that thing. It's gonna be looking sharp, guys. New leveling kit on the truck as well. And I do not want you guys to miss out on any of that stuff. Lots of stuff coming up. So if you have not yet, join the family, subscribe. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Doing what I love, going day to day, but I know it takes time and I'm patiently waiting. Sometimes I contemplate, cause one day you feel so close and the next is out of sight. But I know I gotta hold on tight to go back to just going out every night. Like if I'm about to let it go now, I can live alright, live a normal life, doing 9 to 5. But I know I'm more than that. I gained this skill, wasn't born with that. At the end of the life, it's a memory.